Hello guys. So I've now played DMZ mode for more than 300 hours. This game is exactly what I've been asking for since extraction shooters have become popular, and honestly, they've done a pretty good job so far. However, I feel like some changes need to be made to keep people interested. Alongside the downfall of Warzone 2 popularity itself, I felt like interest in this mode has been falling day by day. There's a lack of replayability, long-term progression, and frustrations coming from solo players and overwhelming PvP. In this video, I want to outline some additions to the game that would help keep players interested and some quality of life changes that would keep frustration down. And if you think what I'm saying makes sense, then make sure to leave a like so I know that I'm not going crazy. So, jumping straight in, the first thing to focus on is to make the game more playable for people already playing. Progression and quality of life changes. AI have been significantly balanced to a reasonable level, but there are still some frustrations that plague the game. One of the biggest problems this game has is the solo experience. I understand that the game is ideally designed for teams, but they're neglecting a huge part of the extraction shooter experience. I think they've done a good job in making some of the missions more solo achievable, but right now playing solo versus larger teams and the feral AI feels a little hopeless. Now, I assume a lot of you are going to want a solo-only DMZ mode, but frankly, the player base is most likely not big enough to sustain two separate matchmaking queues on several maps. However, as a band-aid, I believe solo should spawn in with advantages. So ideally, when a solo player spawns in, they should have a 2-plate vest and a self-revive off the rip. Potentially greater rewards for solo players that complete missions and extract, massively reduced timers on insured weapons, and maybe even less damage taken from the AI specifically. Think about how unfair it is that two teammates can just revive each other endlessly, whereas a solo player simply goes down on the floor and that's GG. And lastly, solos should be allowed to plead to join teams after being down, more so than anyone else. It's backwards right now because sometimes we kill a solo player and we want to revive them, but we can't. I can't imagine how many solo players have quit from the current experience. As for progression, if you're like me and you've unlocked your 3 insured weapon slots last season, what are we even completing missions for this season? Right now, we are simply completing the tiers of missions to get to the end with no real rewards. Even if there are rewards, like skins, it's not obvious exactly what I'm working towards. I genuinely couldn't tell you. It seems obvious to me that there should be other benefits other than just unlocking your insured slots. And there's plenty of ways they could do this. My first thought was to have a key ring, additional inventory space in Raid that allows you to hold keys without taking up your bag. Maybe it starts at level 1 with 1 slot, and then as you progress through the mission tiers, you unlock maybe 2 or 3 extra key slots. I've always wondered why we can't take items between rounds as well. Maybe as a late game unlock, you can get an inventory slot that allows you to hold 1 item between rounds. So you could hold a 3-plate or a kill streak to give to your friend in the next round. Or an expensive item that you could sell to make big cash on spawning in. Or imagine a timed item slot, just like your insured slots that allowed you to take a self-revive or 2-plate vests every 3 hours or so. Again, just small advantages gained from playing the game to the end of the tiers. And lastly, I'm surprised that there isn't a daily quest type system to complete to give you small rewards, even as simple as XP or insured weapon time. Kill 5 AI on Al Mazrah, extract 3 hard drives, just small little quests that encourage people to keep coming back regularly. Moving on, let's talk armor plates. They are potentially the most valuable item in the game right now. I feel like I spend the first 5 minutes of every single match just desperately trying to find enough plates for literally 1 engagement. They're relatively hard to find as loot, and AI drops them like 20% of the time. I think a major solution to the plate shortage is just to make AI always drop plates on every kill. This would help all players accumulate plates quickly and efficiently during fights and dampen the frustration of AI knocking them off you. And then lastly, people are slowly realizing the power of using better vehicles in DMZ. You can already buy LTVs at buy stations, but why can't we buy more vehicle types? Imagine if you're heading for Final Exfil but you only have 5k in cash. Maybe you can buy an ATV. Sometimes you spawn in the middle of nowhere and the next vehicle is a kilometer away. Or what if you need a helicopter for a mission, but you started too far away from all the vehicle spawns? Imagine if you could buy a helicopter if you raised like 80,000. I feel like this could become another avenue of the game. And now for the most controversial topic of DMZ, PvP. Let's be honest here, if this game had no PvP, it would be a very boring and empty experience. It's the interaction with other players, whether hostile or friendly, that makes this game what it is. But right now, there is no reason not to PvP. You might as well kill every player you see, because why would you risk it for nothing? Players need to be encouraged to be friendly. Something I think that would greatly increase the friendly interactions in this game is a similar system that DayZ used back in the day with hero and bandit players. A visual karma system, where if a player does friendly things like reviving or accepting players into their squad or giving items away, they gain good karma points. Whereas if they just kill every player they meet, eventually they get enough bad karma that they become a bandit skin. In Call of Duty, I know that they sell skins and that's important to them, so maybe players could just have visual cues of what kind of player they are. So if a player is mostly friendly, they could have green apparel or a green spotting icon when you ping them, whereas if a player is just killing everybody they see, they would get a red scarf or a red icon. You know you can trust a player wearing green apparel, but if they have red colors, then you should probably shoot on sight. It could also be that when a team kills more than 5 players in a round, they're revealed on the map like a global bounty, so that all players in the map can try and hunt them down to stop their killing spree. Alternatively, there could just be more missions that actually ask players to help each other. So for instance, give 3 self-revives to other players, accept 3 players into your squad, revive a solo player pleading for help. Right now, I think there's only one friendly mission, which is to simply ask if you can join a team, and that's it. As a bonus, there could even be global events in certain areas. So imagine an AI commander that required multiple teams to take down, and if you entered the boss area, player damage was disabled to give players a chance to team up. And then my last point regarding PvP is I honestly think that hunt squad contracts should not be in the DMZ mode. Bored and aggressive players just stack a 3 to 6 man team and just spam hunt contracts until there's no one left on the server. It's near impossible to stop them when they know where you are. I would say that PvP happens constantly in this game mode without the hunt contracts, and the integrity of the mode falls down when players are given easy tools to just kill everyone with no disadvantages and no downsides. Something also needs to be done about 6-man teams just being unstoppable as well. If you join into a larger team, there needs to be some sort of disadvantage, so you can't just roll everyone on the server. Anyway, moving on to more positive features is potential future content that might require a lot more work, but I think it's worth it to keep people interested in the game. I think the biggest addition to DMZ right now would be a hideout metagame within the menus. Having to extract certain items outside of the mission items to build up progression for additional rewards. Maybe even additional quests that are linked to the items only created through the hideout for players that are completionists. Eventually, I would love for DMZ to have a currency system outside of the matches, and maybe even traders that you can buy and sell from, with a full inventory system to be used in the menus, just like other extraction shooters. Right now, finding rare items in the game has no value. For instance, we found a GPU randomly the other day, and all we could do with it was sell it, and that kind of ruins a special moment within extraction shooters. You have these crazy rare items, and there's just nothing to do with them. Rare items are just for cash for the round, as opposed to something exciting to take back and use. But maybe that would complicate the game too much, and DMZ is great as a casual, accessible experience as it is. But let me know what you think of my ideas, and give it a like if you agree with them, or a dislike if you don't. Comment down below your thoughts and your own ideas about the future of DMZ, and what has kept or stopped you from playing it. All of this will help as many people as possible to see this video, and potentially get the attention of the developers who can actually add the stuff that I've mentioned. As for me, I'm on tier 5 for all the factions, and I'm looking forward to some slightly more challenging missions. I'm still having a ton of fun with the game. I'm trying to be friendly when possible, and fighting back when I need to, and just having those unique experience that only this mode brings. This game is a great base for something even greater, and I really hope that they continue to expand on this mode in future seasons and future games. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the DMZ content so far. It's been a wild change of pace for the kind of videos I'm used to making, and I just hope that there is more content to cover in the future. Cheers for watching, pray that they keep updating this mode, and I'll catch you in the next one.